This session is going to focus on configuring the switch to communicate with the Radius server to accept or deny user access. To configure this in the switch, we need to navigate to Configuration, Security, AAA, and Radius. We need to add a new server. In this example, we will point to the router at 192.168.10.254. This is where the Radius server is configured. Our secret key is password. And then we can save that. And we are using the default UDP ports 1812 and 1813 for this example. So that is the Radius server configuration. Now we need to configure a port on the switch for Radius to connect to an end device. So we need to navigate to Configuration, Security, and Network, and then Network Access Server configuration. So here we need to change the mode to enabled, and we're going to configure one port for Radius. We're going to use port 18. Now, there are different port configurations that can be used. These ports can be viewed under the configuration help. But for this example, we are going to use port-based 802.1x. Once this is authenticated, Radius will grant access to this port on the network. We can save that configuration. Okay, now let's establish a connection from the end device. The connection was just established. Now we see on port 18 that the port state is authorized. This end device, which is connected to port 18 on the switch, has now been granted access to the network. All right, we have now successfully configured the switch to communicate with the Radius server. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.